I filled it in. No time for that doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for that doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl. I'm back for another episode. This episode, kind of going to do a bunch of things. We're going to recap week 13. We're going to preview tonight's Memphis Tulane game. Now, the implications don't really mean anything. Tulane's already punched their ticket to the American Athletic Conference Championship, as I predicted. But means something to me. Tulane wins tonight. I have perfectly predicted their season. I had them going 10-2, losing to Oklahoma and Kansas State. They're currently 9-2 with losses to Oklahoma and Kansas State. So if they beat Memphis, they'll be 10-2, 8-0 in American Conference play, just like I predicted. We're going to go over my bowl watch. I had 18 games of bowl watch. Find out my record, which ones I got right, which ones I got wrong. And we're going to talk about the polls. The new college football committee playoff the new top 25 from the college football committee has come out. We're going to go over those and major performances. As always, we're going to talk about major performances. So we got an action-packed episode for y'all today. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. We got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Do not know about this Friday, Black Friday. I don't know if we're going live. Probably will. I have no idea. We have Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Make sure you check them out there. Baseball with Teddy, BWT. All baseball content through Teddy. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn. NBA content through there. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. We have Empty Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. Boxing, all your boxing content through there. Kings Talk, Joe just did an episode, I believe, either last night or this morning. Sacramento Kings content, so make sure you check him out for all your Sacramento Kings needs. And I believe I got every show. Oh, fantasy football with Coach Coombs. How can I forget? Fantasy football is coming up to playoff time almost. I know some people have some players a day. It's almost that time for the playoffs, man. So make sure you tune in to fantasy football to get your fantasy team just right for the playoffs. If you're in the running. But I believe that's all the episodes, all the shows we have for y'all. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to all the other shows as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. So we're going to start off by talking about the polls. Let's talk about these polls because, boy, do I got something to talk about. So instead of talking about them as I read them, I'm going to read them first, and then I'm going to talk about it. First, we have number one, still, is the Oregon Ducks. Oregon Ducks are still your number one overall team. They have punched their ticket to the Big Ten Championship. Ohio State, if they win, they play Ohio State for the rematch in the Big Ten Championship. Remember, Oregon won by 3. Will Howard last second ran out the clock. So that's there. If Ohio State loses and Indiana beats Purdue, then Indiana will play Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. Number 2 is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State remains at number 2 after beating Indiana, which I will talk about later. Number 2 in the country. Number 3, Texas. Number 3 is the Texas Longhorns. Number 4 is Penn State. Number 5, Notre Dame. Notre Dame has finally cracked the top 5. Number 6, Miami, the U at number 6. Number 7, Georgia. Georgia's at 7. 8, Tennessee. 9, SMU. 10, Indiana. So they dropped 5 spots from 5 to 10. 11, Boise State. 12, Clemson. 13, Alabama. 14, Ole Miss. 15, South Carolina. 16, Arizona State. 17, Tulane. 18, Iowa State. 19, BYU. So they dropped from 14 to 19. 20th, Texas A&M dropping from 15 to 20. Missouri moving up 2 spots actually to 21. UNLV moving to 22. Illinois 23. 24 is Kansas State. And 25, dropping 9 spots, Colorado. Now that's your polls. Now for my rank. Got a couple. Let's start with Colorado. Colorado, man, I'm sorry that the committee hates y'all. They dropped 1 game to a team who has beaten now 3 straight ranked opponents, and they dropped 9 spots. I can see if Kansas wasn't hot. I can see if Kansas, this was the only ranked team that Kansas has beat. But for 3 straight weeks, Kansas has beaten ranked teams. And I feel like Colorado dropped the worst. They dropped the worst. It was in Arrowhead, Kansas senior night. And you drop them 9 spots. If the committee just don't like Deion, bro. It seems like that's what it is. They don't like Deion. They don't like Shador. They don't like Deion. They don't like how they feel. It's the name. They don't feel like Colorado should be good. It's Colorado. Why is Colorado right, man? We got to find a reason to get them out of here. Yes, a bad loss. Completely drop them. But 9 spots? 9 spots? I feel like that was a bit excessive. Not only that, Texas A&M lost to Auburn, and they only dropped 5. Auburn ain't been hot. Auburn has a losing record. Auburn ain't been beating ranked opponents, and they only dropped 5 spots. I get it. Marcel Reed was starting. Marcel Reed's been starting this for the majority of the season, and they only dropped 5 spots. It's just inconsistencies. I feel like you can't put Texas A&M over Colorado. You can't. You just cannot. Colorado has looked better than Texas A&M. Not only that, Colorado has had their starting quarterback. I don't want to hear the excuse of Connor Wegman didn't play. Connor Wegman ain't played most of the year, and you've had him in front of them. So I'm not trying to hear that. Let's talk about number 2. The College Football Committee has basically said that the college football playoffs will be the SEC Invitational. Because with 3 losses, you have Alabama and Ole Miss right on the outside looking in. They're right there on the outside looking in at 13 and 14. I told you, I keep telling y'all every week. The committee going to find a way. They're going to find a way to get Bama and Ole Miss in that playoff. They're going to find a way. They have them right on the outside. Who does Ole Miss play? Mississippi State. Who does Bama play? Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Now, granted, Iron Bowl is not a guaranteed win. I understand that. But they know they're probably not making the SEC championship. You got championship week. Let's sit them on the outside so when these championship teams possibly lose, we'll just jump them right in there in the playoff. They just sneak right in. That's what they basically have them set up as. Again, Indiana could beat Purdue. They're not going if they don't make the Big Ten championship, which I mean it's looking like Ohio State is going to beat Michigan. Spoiler alert, that's my pick. I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. Then they'll probably find a way to move Indiana back and move Alabama up, citing that Indiana, that's as good as the season they had. They ain't make the Big Ten championship. They'll find an excuse. Now let's look at some other places. Penn State, they're not going to make the championship game. Notre Dame, they'll keep them in, obviously. If Miami wins, they're in. But, oh, look, Miami is 6 and SMU is 9. So if Miami wins and then loses to SMU, they'll drop. But if Miami wins and then beats SMU, oh, look who's going to probably drop below Alabama and Ole Miss. SMU falls out. They're finding ways to keep them in it. They really are. South Carolina plays Clemson. You don't think if South Carolina beats Clemson, Clemson's going to fall out that 12 spot and they'll move Alabama and them up there? You don't think that? It's kind of seeming like they're trying to push them in there. I just don't get it, man. 3 losses. You got these 3, including my boys, these 3 SEC teams with 3 losses in front of a 2-loss Arizona State team, who they've been playing really good football. They lost their early. I think their game's early. You got them in front of, okay, I can see Iowa State because Iowa State has been reeling lately. I can see that one. I'd give you that. BYU still in the running. Yes, they lost 2 straight. They're still in the running. And I hate these whole hypotheticals. Oh, if you put Bama against this team, you think they're going to lose? Bama lost to Vandy. Bama just lost to Oklahoma, who has 6 wide receivers out. No, you did not mishear me. They have 6 wide receivers hurt and lost 24-3 to Oklahoma, who's first year in the SEC. It's not like Oklahoma's always been in the SEC. Oklahoma is really a Big 12 school who's first year in the SEC. So I'm tired of hearing those hypotheticals because any team can be beat. Stop acting like the SEC is almighty. They can't lose to no other. Yes, they can. And let's talk about Ole Miss. Because people like to throw Ole Miss in these. And y'all know I'm a Jackson Dart guy. I want Ole Miss to do well. Ole Miss has lost to Kentucky. They lost last week to Florida, who just became bowl eligible. Florida has been playing good football lately, though. I will say that. And they lost to LSU. They lost to LSU. It's like, I get it. Gauntlet schedule. SEC is a gauntlet. But stop this hypothetical. Oh, if they play them, you don't think they better? No, bro. Any team can be beat. I just like it. So those are a couple of my rants, man. They're going to find a way to put Alabama, Ole Miss in. The committee might as well just come out and say it. If you don't have a name, you can't slip up. But if you got a name, you can lose. You can slip up. We'll find a way to get you in. Don't worry. It's insane. It really is. It really is. Now, I do want to talk about Notre Dame real quick. No, I'm a man of my word. I said if Notre Dame handles Army, which they did, I'll shut up about where they are, like in terms of top 5. But I have to use Notre Dame as an example for this one team. At 9, we're talking about them again, SMU. SMU is at 9. You know why? Because their name. SMU don't have that tradition. And the one time they did have the tradition, they got the death penalty. They got endless scholarships taken from the Eric Dickerson, all that, Craig James, all that. But SMU is 10-1. Notre Dame is 10-1. Notre Dame's lost. Northern Illinois. Is Northern Illinois in the running for the in the MAC? No, they're not. Now SMU's lost. It's the BYU, who's currently 19th in the country and who's currently in the running for a Big 12 championship appearance. They lost 2 games this year. They're tied. Is a 4-way tie on top of the Big 12 right now. And BYU's a part of it. That's their only loss. So to have Notre Dame in front of SMU, it's only because of the name. It's only because you had Notre Dame high to start the season. It's only because Notre Dame's name is more synonymous with powerhouse than SMU. SMU, when you think of SMU, you think of a decent team. You think of a team who had to claw their way up, who's about a 6-7 win team, maybe more if you have a better program. Throw the names away. You slap Notre Dame on SMU, they're top 5. They're not 9. Again, only loss is to BYU, who's 19th in the country. That loss looks good every week. And then you're going to say, well, Carl, they didn't play Miami. They didn't play Clemson. Cool. Miami's at 6. The best ACC team they played was Louisville. That's the best ACC team. Miami didn't play Clemson. Miami didn't play SMU. Their best win is Louisville. SMU's best ECC win, I believe, is Louisville. It's Louisville. So what's the excuse now? SMU's only loss against BYU is better than Miami's loss to Georgia Tech. Now, I think Georgia Tech is a really good school, but let's call a spade a spade. Georgia Tech is not a better loss than BYU is. It's not. And let's not also forget, SMU's already punched their ticket to the ACC championship. They're undefeated in ACC play. Miami, if they lose to Syracuse, they don't make the ACC championship. Clemson does. So it just makes no sense how Miami and Notre Dame, to me, if you're starting fresh, if you're not using the AP poll where teams are already ranked and you're just rearranging them, just starting fresh makes no sense to me where SMU is. SMU honestly should be above Miami and Notre Dame. That's just, in my opinion, point blank period. SMU lost week 2, week 3. Miami lost 2-3 weeks ago. I thought it's better to lose early than late. That's what I've always been told. But I spent enough time on the polls. Those are my rants. So if you want to respond, let me know in the comments. But that's my rant, man. We'll get off the poll talk and we'll start with the recaps. And we got the first recap Tuesday night, Akron at Kent State. And yes, you can grill me in the comments. I tried to call Kent State winning their first and only game of the year, and I got it wrong, man. Got it wrong. Kent State came out the gate hot, scored a touchdown early, deep ball. Akron, they came out, got a field goal. Then they just put a halt to Kent State's offense. Put a halt to Kent State offense, was putting up points. Akron took the game away from them early and often. Kent State, they lost control of the game, could not win. Just couldn't really stop Akron's offense at all. Couldn't really continuously put offense together. And Akron won in a blowout fashion, 38-17. So let's talk about the actual plays in the game, and then we'll keep it moving. So Kent, they started with an 80-yard Luke Floria touchdown catch. Akron starts with a 43-yard field goal. Then Akron scores a 3-yard Taj Bullock touchdown run, set up by Adrian Norton, 36-yard catch. Akron scores a 13-yard Charles Kellum touchdown run, set up by Adrian Norton, 20-yard catch. Kent State scores a 40-yard field goal. Then Akron scores a 26-yard field goal. Then Akron scores a 27-yard field goal before the half. Akron scores to start the second half. They score an 8-yard Taj Bullock touchdown run, set up by unnecessary roughness. Kent State would start the second half with a punt. Then Akron scores a 36-yard Jarvis Rush touchdown catch, set up by Charles Kellum, 22-yard run. The 2-point is good. There was 6:24 left in the fourth quarter. Akron Taj Bullock fumbles, leading to a 37-yard Krishawn McCray touchdown catch. And then Akron turnover on downs, 4-3 passes incomplete, which will lead to a Tommy Olatowski interception, which will lead to the end of the ball game. Akron wins your ball game. Kent State finishes the season 0-12. Worst record I saw since 2019. Unfortunately, it's tough for seniors to go out winless, man. It is tough to do, but unfortunately, they have to hold that. We'll move on to Western at Central Michigan. Now, I did pick Central Michigan to win, and they honestly won how I thought they would. Defense. I figured they're not going to be able to pass the ball because they don't really have a passing game. But defense was going to win them this game, and defense definitely won it. They stifling defense. A lot of punts in this game. A lot of punts. They started out, I think they both started off 3-and-out punts. It was just a very defensive game. Actually, what got Western back in the game was an interception. Glasser threw a pick six. So Central really held Western Michigan to one offensive touchdown. Like I said, man, Central Michigan defense was going to win them the game, and they sure enough won it. So let's talk about it. So Western Michigan starts with a 3-and-out punt. Central Michigan starts with a 3-and-out punt. There were 5:06 left in the first quarter. Central Michigan scores a 6-yard B.J. Harris touchdown run set up by Solomon Davis, 55-yard catch. With 2:27 left in the second quarter, Central Michigan scores a 36-yard field goal. Then Western Michigan turnover on downs, 4-for-3, passes incomplete, leading to a 47-yard field goal. Central Michigan will start the second half with a Jaden Glasser pick six. The pick six was caught by Tate Hollick. Central Michigan will score a 30-yard field goal. That drive took up 10 minutes and 11 seconds. That was also huge in the game. And then Western Michigan will score a 1-yard Jalen Buckley touchdown run set up by Kavion Mack, 18-yard catch. Both teams would then punt the ball, and then Central Michigan will run out the last 3:38 of the ball game, winning the ball game and becoming bowl eligible. I believe both teams were fighting for bowl eligibility. I picked Central Michigan to win it, and they won, man. Shout out the Chippewas. I'm just double checking, making sure it was both for bowl eligibility, but I'm pretty sure it was. See right here, Central Michigan are now Western was trying to become bowl eligible. Central cannot become bowl eligible, but still big win at home for the Chippewas. Western Michigan does play this week, obviously the last week of college football eligibility, and it will be on bowl watch. Next, we got Northern Illinois at Miami of Ohio. I believe I picked Northern Illinois. I can't remember. I want to say I picked Northern Illinois. I want to say I started off 1-2 and then went out the rest of the week. But I do think I picked Northern Illinois, and I do think I picked them because I thought their defense would stop the deep balls, the deep shots, and it didn't. Miami of Ohio would still be able to get their deep shots. Reggie Virgil, Javon Tracy, they both were getting their deep shots. Miami won 20-9, at home, and they beat Bowling Green. They are in the MAC championship. Again, Miami of Ohio was my MAC champion winner. So I'm happy I was wrong. I am happy I was wrong, but that sets up, like, again, a huge game this Saturday. Actually, tomorrow, which will be previewed tomorrow. So don't you worry, I got y'all. But yeah, They were able to get their deep shots. They were able to stifle the Northern Illinois offense, and they won the ball game. So Miami of Ohio starts with a 41-yard field goal miss, which will lead to a punt. Then with 2:31 left in the first quarter, Miami of Ohio scores a 2-yard Dylan Downing touchdown run, set up by Javon Tracy 26-yard catch. Miami of Ohio scores a 22-yard field goal. Miami of Ohio scores a 30-yard Reggie Virgil touchdown catch, set up by Javon Tracy 16-yard catch. Ethan Hampton throws an interception leading to Brett Gabbert, interception leads to a 47-yard field goal. Northern Illinois starts the second half with a turnover on downs, 4th and 5. Ethan Hampton sacked, leading to a 3-and-out punt. With 11:51 left in the fourth quarter, Northern Illinois scores a 2-yard Telly Johnson touchdown run, set up by Gavin Williams' 20-yard run, and the 2-point would be no good. Which I didn't get why they went for 2. They would have been down 7. They'd have been down 10-17. I don't understand why coaches, we'll go for 2 now. So if we get it, all we got to do is kick the extra point to win it. But don't go for 2. If you go for 2 and don't get it, now you got to go for 2 just to tie it. Just kick the extra point. And if you get to the late in the ball game and you're down 1 and you want to win it, go for 2. Go for 2. And if you want to go to overtime, just go to overtime. But give yourself that decision. Don't make it early. I never understood that. NIU, Ethan Hampton fumbles, leading to a 27-yard field goal. And then NIU will kick a 42-yard field goal, which will be blocked. And that just lead to the end of the ball game. And, Miami of Ohio, again, they win. They're in the MAC championship. And they will face Ohio if Ohio wins. We move on to Wednesday, where I did pick I picked Eastern Michigan to win this game. Thought they would be able to contain CJ Agbana, and they weren't. They weren't able to really contain him. They weren't really able to get stops. Honestly, and he's on my major performances. James Dugan, I'm probably mispronouncing his name. The middle linebacker for Eastern Michigan, it's the only one that looked like he was ready to play defense today. 22 total tackles. He balled out. Shout out to him. He's from the DMV. He's from Virginia. Amazing game by him. But Buffalo offense just looked unstoppable. They were picking up a lot of third downs. They were stopping Eastern Michigan's offense. Now, Eastern Michigan did hit some big plays to Terry Lockett and Marquise Allen. They both got some big plays. But Buffalo was just able to respond. They was able to respond, picking up big third downs, moving the ball. CJ Agbana using his legs. It was just tough for the Eastern Michigan defense all night. But let's talk about it. So Eastern Michigan will start with a 3-and-out punt. Well, Buffalo will start with a punt. Then Buffalo will score a 90-yard J.J. Jenkins touchdown catch. Set up, and the 2-point was good. My bad. EMU Cole Snyder interception leads to a 55-yard field goal miss, which will lead to a punt. There were 9:23 left in the second quarter. Eastern Michigan's Cole Snyder sacked for a safety, which will lead to a 7-yard Victor Snow touchdown catch. Eastern Michigan Cole Snyder would throw a pick, which will lead to halftime. That's what I forgot to mention. I said in the preview that I don't think Cole Snyder would be the turnover machine he was against Ohio. Boy, was I wrong. Now Buffalo starts the second half with a 3-and-out after an Eastern Michigan failed onside kick. It was a 3-and-out punt. Eastern Michigan starts the second half with a 38-yard Terry Lockett Jr. touchdown catch set up by Marcus Allen, 16-yard catch. Then Buffalo scores a 1-yard Al-J Henderson touchdown run set up by Al-J Henderson, 19-yard run. The PAT was no good. Eastern Michigan scores a 13-yard Terry Lockett Jr. touchdown catch set up by Marcus Allen, 47-yard catch. The 2-point would be no good. Then with 8:54 left in the fourth quarter, Eastern Michigan scores a 78-yard Marcus Allen touchdown catch. I believe this made it a one-possession game. I'm like, yeah, Eastern Michigan right here. Let's get a stop. No. Buffalo scores a 75-yard Al-J Henderson touchdown catch right after that. And Eastern Michigan will turn the ball over on downs. 4th and 10. Cole Snyder, 2-yard run, which will lead to a 4th and 4 for Buffalo. Turnover on downs, passes incomplete, which will lead to a pick six thrown by Jeremiah Salem. Sean Dolick is the one that caught the pick six. And then turnover on downs for Eastern Michigan, 4th and 7, passes incomplete, leading to the end of the game. They were able to cut it down to 1 lead, and then right after went right back to the same old EMU, just turning the ball over, not capitalizing, and giving up big plays. So there's that. But then Ohio at Toledo, Ohio won 24-7. Picked Ohio to win. I love Ohio. It's a football team. Parker Navarro didn't have a game at all passing the football, but on the ground, I said they was going to need his legs, and they needed every little bit of the legs that he used. 3 touchdowns on the ground, over 100 yards, extraordinary game on the ground, very below average game through the air. But that Toledo's passing defense, Toledo's defense in general was really good, so I figured he would struggle. Ohio's defense was just suffocating. As you can see, Toledo only putting up 7 points. But let's talk about it. So Ohio starts with a 3-and-out punt. Toledo starts with a punt. With 10-12 left in the second quarter, Toledo scores a 23-yard Anthony Torres touchdown catch. When they scored that touchdown, I'm like, all right, Ohio, let's answer back. I don't think they answered back initially. I don't think they answered back at all. And then I'm like, oh, I'm getting nervous. Ohio can't really move the ball. This Toledo defense is really good. And then they were able to break through. Toledo would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Ohio would start the second half with a Parker Navarro interception leading to an Eric Holly fumble, which would lead to a 1-yard Parker Navarro touchdown run. Now, Toledo's Junior Vanderross would fumble leading to a 1-yard Parker Navarro touchdown run. And then Ohio was scoring a 1-yard Anthony Tyus touchdown run set up by Parker Navarro 45-yard run. So, he had 2, not 3 touchdowns. Toledo turnover on downs 4th and 18. John Allen Ryder sacked, leads to a 24-yard field goal. And then Toledo John Allen Ryder fumbles leading to the end of the game. Yeah, man, like I said, first half wasn't really able to spawn. Second half, Navarro using his legs, got it done, forced some plays on the defensive end. They got the win. We move on to Thursday night, which I picked Georgia Tech to win. And it's insane to me that Georgia Tech didn't win this game by a blowout. Georgia Tech, I believe, forced 3 turnovers or 3 interceptions and still should have lost this game. Don't understand it, but they should have lost this game. Like I said, forced the turnovers. NC State, for some reason, stayed around. CJ Bailey didn't have a good game throwing the ball, but running the ball, he looked really well. Really good running the ball. I still honestly can't explain what I saw from this game, to be honest. I can't. Haynes King still can't throw the ball. Anthony Philo was the main quarterback. They tried to use Haynes King to run it, but his shoulder is still messed up. At this point, I say you sit him. He's a junior. He's coming back for his senior year. Just sit him. Let Aaron Philo get his little run. But yeah, let's talk about it. So, Georgia Tech starts with a punt. NC State starts with a 3-and-out punt. NC State, CJ Bailey, pick 6 to EJ Lightsey. That was so fluke, too. I remember it being so fluke. NC State scores a 16-yard CJ Bailey touchdown run, set up by Logan Smothers' 15-yard run. The Georgia Tech will score a 44-yard field goal. The Georgia Tech will score a 41-yard field goal. Your NC State turnover on downs 4 for 3, pass incomplete, leading to a turnover on downs 4 for 2, passes incomplete, leading to a CJ Bailey interception, which will lead to halftime. Then NC State will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia Tech will start the second half with a punt. Georgia Tech scores a 45-yard field goal. NC State scores a 28-yard CJ Bailey touchdown run, set up by Kendrick Raphael, a 19-yard run. With 7:33 left in the fourth quarter, Georgia Tech, Aaron Philo, interception, leads to a CJ Bailey interception, which will lead to a 3-yard Haynes King touchdown run. Then NC State will score a 1-yard CJ Bailey touchdown run, set up by CJ Bailey 31-yard run. Then NC State will score a 53-yard Logan Smothers touchdown run, set up by, and the 2-point would be good. Georgia Tech will come back, because this is the drive to come back and win it. They will come back and win it, set up by Aaron Philo running the football. NC State was running man coverage. Philo was able to find holes in the backfield and take off. Man coverage, people's back searching for quarterback. Gaping holes and would gash him. He scored the 18-yard touchdown run set up by Aaron Philo, 18-yard run, so he had 2 of those. Then NC State actually gets the ball in field goal range, and they missed a 58-yard field goal as time expires, leading Georgia Tech to win the game, exceeding my wins. I had them, I think, on 6-6. They're currently 7-4. That's 11. Yeah, 7-4. I had to make sure my math was right. They're currently 7-4 with a chance to go 8-4 against Georgia. They play Georgia this week, Georgia Tech rivalry week. So I might actually preview that one. I'm low-key rooting for Georgia Tech. I'm not gonna lie. But we move on to no. Yeah, now it's Friday. I'm tripping. Move on to Friday night, where Temple lost in a blowout. They kept it close at first, but UTSA just did what they did. Robert Henry had an extraordinary day on the ground. And UTSA defense did a really good job against Temple. Now, Temple, they were able to get some big plays to Dante Wright in the second half. But UTSA just was too much. Way too much for the Temple Owls. Got the W. Let's talk about it. So, Temple starts with a 3-and-out punt. UTSA starts with a 40-yard Robert Henry touchdown run, set up by Robert Henry 13-yard run. Temple punts the ball. UTSA muffs it, leading to a 37-yard field goal. UTSA turnover downs, 4th and 1. David Amador, 8-yard loss, turnover downs, leads to a 3-and-out punt. We have 10:54 left in the second quarter. UTSA scores a 75-yard Owen McCown touchdown run. Excuse me. UTSA, Owen McCown, interception leads to a 9-yard Dante Wright touchdown catch. UTSA, Chris Carpenter, 97-yard kickoff return right after that Dante Wright touchdown. Then UTSA will score an 8-yard Robert Henry touchdown run set up by an 88-yard Robert Henry run. Temple will score a 4-yard Antoine Littleton touchdown run set up by Dante Wright 34-yard catch. The UTSA would miss the 52-yard field goal right before the half. To start the second half, UTSA will score a 23-yard field goal, while Temple to start the second half will have a 3-and-out punt. Temple will score a 61-yard Dante Wright touchdown catch. And then Temple's Evan Simon would throw an interception leading to a 3-yard Willie McCoy touchdown catch. Evan Simon would throw another interception leading to an Owen McCown interception, which would lead to a 33-yard field goal. Then with 8:19 left in the fourth quarter, UTSA scores a 47-yard field goal. Temple, turnover on downs, 4th and 8, pass incomplete, leading to a 42-yard field goal. Then another turnover on downs, 4th and 15, Torres Worthy, 7-yard catch, leading to a 3-yard Brandon Hyde Jr. touchdown run. And then Temple's Kaiser Halloween fumbles lead to the end of the game. Like I said, man, UTSA defense was just entirely too much for the Temple Owls. We move forward to Purdue at Michigan State. MSU needed to go 2-0 to become bowl eligible. They got the 1 win against Purdue. Now, it got scary. It did get scary. Purdue, first half, couldn't really do much. Michigan State looked unstoppable on offense. Second half, the roles reversed. Purdue looked unstoppable on defense, on offense. Michigan State offense could not sustain drive. They'll get big plays. They'll move a little bit, but couldn't sustain. Purdue will do a good job of getting off the field. Purdue, they have a chance to tie it late. Couldn't get the job done. And MSU hangs on to win at home 24-17, being 1 win away from becoming bowl eligible for the first time since we won the Cotton Bowl in 2021. Play Rutgers this Saturday. It'll be on part of Bowl Watch. I'm not previewing it, but it'll be on Bowl Watch. So, let me actually make sure that's Saturday because there's a lot of games on Friday. So, excuse me if I get the day wrong. Yeah, Saturday because it'll be at the top of the list. We play. It should be at Spartan Stadium too. It should be senior night for our seniors. Yep, 3:30 Saturday. So gotta get the W for the seniors. Gotta get our seniors one more bowl game. One more game. So let's talk about it. So Purdue starts with a 40-yard field goal. MSU scores a 7-yard Montoy Foster touchdown catch set up by Adamola Folahi 14-yard catch. MSU scores a 43-yard field goal. Purdue, Devin Mockabee fumbles, leading to a 2-yard Nate Carter touchdown run. Purdue, 30-yard field goal is blocked, leading to a 20-yard Nate Carter touchdown catch. MSU starts with a second half punt. Purdue starts the second half with a 2-yard Devin Mockabee touchdown run set up by Jamal Edgerton, 24-yard catch. Purdue scores a 7-yard Max Clare touchdown catch set up by Jerron Tibbs, 38-yard catch. Then with 8:34 left in the fourth quarter, Purdue's Hudson Card throws an interception, leads to a pick. And then Purdue, turnover downs, 4th and 6, pass incomplete, leading to the end of the game. Like I said, man, hung on to win that ball game. Purdue had 2 drives to try to tie it, possibly win it going for 2. And we just hung on by the skin of our teeth, won the game, 1 game away from bowl eligibility. Now, last Friday game, UNLV, huge game for them in terms of the Mountain West because they are behind Colorado State. Were behind Colorado State. Colorado State just lost to Fresno State. They were behind Colorado State by 1 game. They were behind Boise State by a game and a half because Boise State has the win against them. But Boise State is currently got their ticket punched, winning their game against Wyoming. Tough game, by the way. Almost lost that one. But now it's up to UNLV, Colorado State. I don't know how that tiebreaker works. That didn't play each other. So, as I know, y'all know, but Boise State has punched their ticket to the Mountain West Championship. That's all y'all need to know. Which they were my Mountain West winners preseason. Don't believe me? Look it up. Preseason, I picked them to win the Mountain West. But yeah, UNLV, San Jose State did a really good job first half. They were able to move the ball. They were able to get stops. Like I said, really good job in the first half. But second half, UNLV shut out San Jose State. No points in the second half. Was able to score the ball and ultimately win the game. I believe they were only down 2 or 3 at halftime. I think it was 13-16 actually at halftime. But like I said, man, did a really good job. Shut them out in the second half and won the ball game to keep pace with Colorado State. So let's talk about it. San Jose State starts with a punt. UNLV starts with a punt. UNLV misses a 52-yard field goal, leading to a bad snap fumble, leads to a 31-yard field goal. We have 13:35 left in the second quarter. UNLV, Hodge Malik Williams throws a pick six to Isaiah Rivas. UNLV scores a 5-yard Kaleo Bullingay touchdown catch set up by Ricky White 17-yard catch. San Jose State scores a 33-yard Matthew Coleman touchdown catch set up by Jackson Cannon 27-yard catch. UNLV, bad snap, leads to a safety, leads to a 3-and-out punt. UNLV starts the second half with a 52-yard field goal. San Jose State starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. With 144 left in the third quarter, UNLV scores a 25-yard Jaden Thomas touchdown run set up by Ricky White 29-yard catch. And then UNLV scores a 7-yard Kylan James touchdown run set up by running into the kicker and a Ricky White 20-yard catch. And then UNLV killed the last 7:21 of the ball game to go on to win 27-16 and possibly going on to the Mountain West Conference Championship game to face Boise State in the rematch. Now we move on to Saturday where we have 5 games only. First game, a top 5 matchup between Indiana and Ohio State, where Ohio State will win 38-15, scoring a garbage time touchdown. Should have just took a knee, but hey, I know a lot of people are mad at it. I say if you don't want it to happen, stop him. Now I will say it is. A lot of people said they lined up and taking a knee, which that could have been true. But the tush push also kind of looks like taking a knee, a victory formation. It just the only difference is the lineup of the running back. The running back on the knee is like 10 to 15 yards back, and the tush push is about like 5 to 7. I think they should have just took the knee, but hey, I also don't be mad when teams run it up because, like I said, if you don't want it done, stop it. But Indiana first drive scores the ball. After that, only had one other drive late in the ball game where the game seemed out of reach. Ohio State turned up the pressure, dialed up some blitzes, and had Curtis Rourke and this Indiana offense in a not so happy place for being on my podcast. I can't really say what I want to say. At least I don't think so. But yeah, Ohio State defensive intensity just turned up, and Indiana just could not handle it. Started moving the ball, started scoring. Now Indiana had some good plays. Tied 7-7. I believe Curtis Rourke or fumbled. Defense scored a pick. Weren't able to move the ball. They got some plays, but just could not capitalize on the offensive end and take their first loss of the year. But let's talk about it. So, Ohio State starts with a 3-and-out punt. Indiana starts with a 2-yard Tyson Lawton touchdown run set up by Lazarus Rat, 19-yard catch. Ohio State turnover on downs, 4th and 1. Krishan Junkins, no gain, leading to a punt. Ohio State scores an 11-yard Emeka Ibuka touchdown catch. Indiana's Curtis Rourke fumbles, leading to a Will Howard interception, which will lead to a botched punt, which will lead to a 4-yard Travion Henderson touchdown run. Then Indiana will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, and Caleb Downs will take that 79 yards to the crib for a punt return touchdown. Ohio State would then score a 1-yard Jelani Thurman touchdown catch, set up by Emeka Ibuka 25-yard catch. Then with 8:56 left in the fourth quarter, Ohio State scores a 45-yard field goal. Indiana will finally score another touchdown, a 2-yard Tyson Lawton touchdown run set up by defensive pass interference. Then 2-point will be good. And then Ohio State will score a 1-yard Will Howard touchdown run after a failed onside kick. Travion Henderson goes to 39 yards. He slides down at the 1, thinking that they were just going to take a knee and end it. But no, they went and scored a touchdown, and then that'll be a ball game. Again, Ohio State dominates Indiana after Indiana's first drive. Really good win for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Second game, my beloved Jack State boys. Now, Jack State has punched their ticket to the Conference USA Championship with the win against Sam Houston State, winning 21-11. I picked them to win. I figured that the run game, Tyler Huff, would be huge, and sure enough, he was. I also thought that the Sam Houston State offense was not going to be able to generate enough points, only putting up 11. So, Jack State gets a really good win, punches their ticket to the dance where they would be facing either Liberty or Western Kentucky. Now, I say that because Liberty right now does hold the tiebreaker. Spoiler alert, beating Western Kentucky, which is the game I'll talk about next. But they both have 2 losses. Liberty plays Sam Houston State. Western Kentucky, I believe, plays Jack State, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. My phone ESPN app will. There we go. Let's see here. Sam Houston State Liberty, Friday, 3:30. So I definitely got to preview that one. And Jack State plays, I do really think it's Western Kentucky. Which, if that's the case, I have Liberty going back to the conference. So, yep, they play Western Kentucky, 4 o'clock Saturday. So I definitely got to preview that one. And Obviously, Liberty wins, they're in. Doesn't matter if Western Kentucky beats Jack State. Jack State's undefeated in Conference USA play. They only have, if they do lose, they will only have one loss. No team in Conference USA has one loss. It's Jack State had a 2-game lead, so they already in. So Western Kentucky wins or losses. Friday night, Western Kentucky are big Sam Houston State fans. Huge Sam Houston State fans. Now, again, hold on. Sam Houston State could get in if Jack State beats Jack State. Yeah, if Jack State beats Western Kentucky and Sam Houston State beats Liberty, it would be Jack State and Sam Houston State in the Conference USA Championship. Now, if Liberty wins, they're in. Like I said, they're in no matter what. Because Liberty beat Western Kentucky, and they would then beat Sam Houston State Friday. So, and now if Liberty loses, that means Sam Houston State wins, but Western Kentucky wins. Western Kentucky beat Sam Houston State, so then they would be in. So there's still 3 different possibilities of who can make the Conference USA Championship, which makes Friday so much sweeter. But let's talk about the game. So Jack State will start with a 3-yard Tyler Huff touchdown run, set by Tyler Huff 16-yard run. Sam Houston State will start with a 3-and-out punt. With 14-10 left in the second quarter, Jack State scored turnover down, 4th and 9. Andrew Paul, 2-yard loss, leads to a 34-yard field goal. Jack State will score a Tyler Huff 34-yard touchdown run. Sam Houston State, turnover downs, 4th and 2, passes incomplete, leading to a turnover downs, 4th and 3. Tyler Huff sack, leading to halftime. Sam Houston State starts the second half with a 21-yard Hunter Watson touchdown run, set up by Simeon Evans, 16-yard catch. Jack State starts second half with a 3-and-out punt. Sam Houston State start 3-and-out punt. Shamario Rudolph fumbles, leads to a 37-yard missed field goal, which will lead to a 7-yard Tyler Huff touchdown run. The Sam Houston State will miss a 42-yard field goal, leading to a turnover down, 4th and 5. Tyler Huff 1-yard run leads to the end of the ball game. Like I said, man, winning the ball game with defense, got the run game going with Tyler Huff, and they move on to your Conference USA Championship game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did have Liberty in the Conference USA Championship game as the winner. My matchup was Liberty Jack State, so if that does happen, kudos. But if that does happen, although I picked Liberty, I want Jack State to win. I do. I'm sorry, not sorry. But we got to talk about Western Kentucky 21 at Liberty 38. Now, I did pick Western Kentucky to win this game because I didn't believe in Liberty's defense. I didn't. And they proved me wrong. Now, Western Kentucky, they were able to get big plays, but Liberty was just able to force turnovers. Caden Velkamp threw 2 interceptions, maybe even more. I can't remember, but I know he threw 2 for sure. And Western Kentucky just could not stop the run. That run game with Quentin Cooley, Billy Lucas, just was going all day. Could not stop the run. Also, Juju. I'm blanking on his last name. I know his real name is Julian. Is it Juju Thomas? Let me try to find Juju Gray. Juju Gray. Kick return. Huge kick return. Right after the huge kick return, quarter screen pass, went for like 30, 40 yards. He had some big plays as well, but it was mainly the run game with Cooley and Lucas that Western Kentucky just could not stop. But let's talk about it. So Liberty starts with a punt. Western Kentucky starts with a Caden Velkamp interception, leading to turnover on downs, 4th and 7 passes incomplete, which will lead to another Caden Velkamp interception, which will lead to a Quentin Cooley fumble, which will lead to a 9-yard Dalvin Smith touchdown catch. Liberty would then score a 2-yard Billy Lucas touchdown run, set up by Caden Salter, 36-yard run. Then Western Kentucky's Keyshawn Johnson would fumble, leading to a 22-yard Quentin Cooley touchdown run. Then Liberty scores an 11-yard Juju Gray touchdown catch, set up by Billy Lucas, 36-yard run. Then Western Kentucky would start the second half with a 2-yard George Hart touchdown run set up by Keyshawn Johnson, 32-yard catch. Then Liberty would score a 2-yard Quentin Cooley touchdown run set up by Juju Gray, 36-yard catch. Then Western Kentucky would score a 16-yard Keyshawn Johnson touchdown catch. Liberty would score a 29-yard field goal. Liberty would score a 3-yard Caden Salter touchdown run set up by Quentin Cooley, 24-yard run. And then Western Kentucky's Caden Velkamp would throw an interception to end the ball game, making your final score 38-21. Now, this game right here, 3:30 slot, I did pick BYU to win. But you remember, even down to the last second, I could not pick a winner for this game. I had to just, on a whim, pick a winner because that's what I do on my show. I pick winners. So, or pick a team that's going to win, I think is going to win. So I couldn't say, man, it's going to be a really good game. I don't know who's going to win, so I'm not going to pick one. Nope, I got to pick one. And unfortunately, I picked wrong. Now, let's talk about the end real quick. Sam Levitt, 4th and goal, 7 seconds left. He drops back. He's just going to drop back and throw the ball away there, try to kill the clock. He threw the ball too early, 1. 2, I feel like they should have just ran a Hail Mary and he should have just threw it out the back of the end zone instead of the sideline. Because if you throw it out the back of the end zone, it's not intentional grounding. 2, it's more distance it has to carry. So if you drop back 3-4 seconds and then you just heave it out the back of the end zone, that might kill the last 3 seconds to end the ball game. But no, he drops back, throws it at the sideline. 1 second is left. They got to clear the field for all the people that stormed the field because it was a huge rivalry game. They thought the game was won. BYU actually completes the Hail Mary to end the game, but to Chase Roberts, who, like I keep saying, makes contested catches, but he was 2 yards short. And I feel like the only reason why Jake Retzlaff did not get that ball to the end zone because somebody was in his face. Now, he wasn't in his face unblocked, but he was in his face being blocked. And I feel like he really couldn't follow through on the throw and which made it short. And Arizona State hangs on to win it. Now, Arizona State came out the gate hot. BYU was able to move the ball first drive, but turn on down. They came out the gate and scored some more. Second half, I don't think they scored. Oh, no, they scored once. Then they scored 1 touchdown when BYU was making it close, but it wasn't the same. Cam Scatterbo still had a good game second half, but the offense in general was not the same second half. And BYU took advantage, and BYU started scoring. And BYU had a chance even prior to the Sam Levitt debacle, whatever you want to call it. And Jake Retzlaff almost throws a pick six. And by almost, I mean, they were about, 8-10 yards away from making that a pick six. Somebody made a tackle that forced first and goal. But, man, they were driving. I thought they was going to do it. I thought they was going to come back, win the game, and the pick happened. So, but let's talk about it. So, BYU starts with a turnover downs, 4th and 5, passing incomplete, leading to a 3-yard Cam Scatterbo touchdown run. BYU's Jake Retzlaff will throw his first interception, leading to a Sam Levitt interception, leading to a punt. Then Arizona State will score a 4-yard Cam Scatterbo touchdown run set up by Jordan Tyson, 54-yard catch. Arizona State would then kick an onside kick up 14-0. Leading to a 23-yard Cam Scatterbo touchdown run. So that was actually a great call. BYU would then score a 49-yard field goal. Arizona State would start the second half with a turnover on downs, 4th and 4, passes incomplete, leading to a Keelan Marion 10-yard touchdown run. Set up, the 2-point would be no good. Arizona State would score a 61-yard Xavier Gilley touchdown catch, Cam Scatterbo 14-yard run. BYU would score a 21-yard JoJo Phillips touchdown catch, set up by Darius Lass with a 36-yard catch. The 2-point would be good. BYU would then score a 1-yard Keelan Marion touchdown run, set up by Darius Lass with a 24-yard catch. The 2-point would be no good. Arizona State, turnover downs, 4th and 1, Sam Levitt, no gain, leading to the Jake Retzlaff interception, which will lead to the whole turnover downs, 4th and goal pass incomplete with 1 second left, which will lead to the Hail Mary being complete 2 yards short of the goal line to Chase Roberts, which will lead to the end of the ball game. And we got to move on to our last game, which I'm not going to talk about much. Army completely got destroyed by Notre Dame. I just took a little bit of notes from it. I'm going to read these 5 little notes, and we'll keep it pushing to major performance. Bowl, watch, recap, and then major performances. So, Army lost 14-20-49. Notre Dame in the first half had 4 touchdowns out of 6 drives. One of the drives being the first half turnover downs, and the other drive being a missed field goal. While Army in the first half had 1 touchdown, and the other drives went 4 3-and-out punts and 1 fumble. Notre Dame had 3 touchdowns in the second half. One of the drives being a missed field goal, and the other one was to end the game. While Army had 1 touchdown drive that took 10 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock, which is not good when you're down about 3-4 touchdowns. And they had 3 turnover downs other than that. And in my opinion, Army just didn't have the athletes, which is, I believe what I said in the preview. They just don't have the athletes for a team like Notre Dame. So big loss for Army, but first loss of the year. So still a great season. They still have 2 games left. Yes, you heard me right. Which, by the way, before I go into my recaps, is leaving me confused because the American Athletic Conference Championship is next week. Army still has to play Navy, which is in 2 weeks. Navy technically has a shot if Army was to lose, I believe, to UTSA. They play next week. I believe Army plays UTSA next week. And then if Navy were to beat Army, it's like, well, Navy would mean Army would have 2 losses. Navy would have won the game. It's kind of crazy how they don't get a shot in American Athletic. I don't know how that goes. I'm honestly confused. Honestly, so that kind of makes me want to root for Army against UTSA. Just so if Army loses to Navy, we don't have that debacle. I think Tulane beats Navy anyway, but still, it's still that chance. And I want to make sure Army plays UTSA. Army. Where is Army? Yep, Army plays UTSA 12 o'clock on Saturday. So yeah, that leaves me confused. American Athletic got to fix that. But let's talk about the bowl recap. I'm gonna just run through who I picked and who actually won. So, Ole Miss, Florida. I did take Ole Miss in that one. Florida did win the game. SMU, Virginia. I did take SMU, who won. North Carolina, Boston. I did take North Carolina, which Boston College won, so that makes me 1-2. UNL, Monroe, and Arkansas State. I did take Arkansas State to win that game, and they won. South Alabama, Southern Miss. I did take South Alabama to win and become bowl eligible. They won. Northwestern Michigan. I did take Michigan to win to become bowl eligible, and they won. Nebraska, Wisconsin. I took Wisconsin to become bowl eligible, and they lost. Nebraska won. Stanford, Cal. I took Cal to win to become bowl eligible, and they won. UCF, West Virginia. West Virginia was my dog of the week. They won to become bowl eligible. Georgia Southern, Coastal. I did take Coastal to win to become bowl eligible. Georgia Southern won. ECU, North Texas. I thought North Texas was going to end the ECU streak with their new head coach, or interim head coach. North Texas lost. ECU won. Tulsa, South Florida. Took South Florida to win to become bowl eligible. Won in a blowout. Arkansas, Louisiana Tech. Obviously, I took Arkansas, and they won. Alabama, Oklahoma. I took Alabama to win. Oklahoma won to become bowl eligible. Side note, I do have a couple side notes about the game. Virginia Tech at Duke. I took Duke to win, and they won, leaving Virginia Tech not bowl eligible still. Cincinnati, Kansas State. I did take Kansas State to win, and they won. Cincinnati still not bowl eligible. UCLA, USC. I took UCLA. USC won to become bowl eligible. Shout out Teddy. And Colorado State, Fresno State, I took Colorado State to win. Fresno State won and becomes bowl eligible, leaving my bowl watch record at 10-8, still a winning record. So pat on the back there. Now, side note, about Oklahoma, about my preseason for real. Preseason, I had Oklahoma going 7-5. I think 4-4, 3-5 at SEC play. Play LSU. They're currently 6-5 and 2-5. If Oklahoma wins, got that right. I predicted them to be 7-5, 3-5. If LSU wins, I had them going 8-4, 4-4, or 5-3, whatever. I would get LSU's record right or wrong, and I think I'm gonna get LSU's SEC record right. It's something about that game where I'll be right about something either way in the preseason. That's just my little side note there. Also, side note about Florida. Everybody said, "Oh, Florida got the toughest schedule. Florida got the hardest schedule." If Florida beats Florida State, like I said, I predicted Florida in the preseason go 7-5, 4-4. Right now, currently, Florida is 6-5, 4-4. So the 4-4 is checked. Florida has no more SEC games. So their SEC record, I predicted correctly. They beat Florida State, they'll be 7-5, 4-4. And I get both of those checked off. Now, I didn't get every game they would win and lose correct, so it won't be perfect, in my opinion. Some people might say you perfectly called it by getting the record right. I don't call it perfect unless I get all your wins right, all your losses right, leading to having that record. For example, if I picked you to win 7 games, beating LSU and blah, 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 and I get LSU wrong, but you win 6 of the other ones or whatever, it's not perfect to me. But if I picked you to win 7 games and you can beat LSU and all that, that's when I consider it perfect. So either way, I would get the record right, but it's not perfect. But let's move on to major performances. Major performances. Y'all know, read the name, play the little sound effect, and keep it pushing to preview this Memphis Tulane game that probably already kicked off by now. If not, I'm going to let y'all know in advance. I got Tulane winning, obviously. I want my perfect prediction. So Tulane's going to win, in my opinion. So just to throw that out there, so like, Carl, you already know what's going on. I don't know what the score is right now. If somebody scored, I don't know. My winner is Tulane. I'll explain the preview and all that why later. So just had to make sure I'm on the right joint. So first, we have Marcus Allen, wide receiver, Eastern Michigan, 9 catches. James Docon, 8 solo tackles, linebacker for Eastern Michigan. J.J. Jenkins, wide receiver, Buffalo, 5 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Robert Henry, running back, UTSA, 16 carries, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Darrell Gill Jr., wide receiver, Syracuse, 9 catches, 177 yards. Tyler Huff, quarterback, Jack State. Only did his rushing yards, so that's the only reason why he's up here. With 30 carries, 177 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Quentin Cooley, Liberty, running back, 24 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cam Scatterbo, running back, Arizona State, 28 carries, 147 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Devin Neal, running back, 37 carries, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown for Kansas. Travis Hunter, wide receiver cornerback for Colorado. 8 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 total tackles, and a pass breakup. By the way, side note, stop counting tackles for a cornerback. That makes no sense. Baron Morton, quarterback, Texas Tech. 37 of 53, 401 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Ollie Gordon, running back, Oklahoma State. 15 carries, 156 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Haven't said his name in a while here. DJ Giddens, running back, Kansas State. 15 carries, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Allie Jennings, wide receiver, Virginia Tech. 6 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Eli Panko, wide receiver, Duke. 5 catches, 188 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Cam Coleman, wide receiver, Auburn. 7 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. 7 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And RJ Harvey, running back, UCF. 16 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And that ends my recap. Let's go over this preview real quick, and then I'll be off the air to enjoy some college football, some NFL football, and some college basketball. I've been enjoying college basketball lately. By the way, another side note, Dylan Harper to me is the number 1 pick in this year's NBA draft. I'm sorry, not sorry. So he looked better than me. He looks more polished than me than Cooper Flagg does. He is poised, everything. To me, Dylan Harper is the number 1 pick. But I digress. Let's get into today's preview. Memphis at Tulane, where Tulane was 13.5-point favorites. This game is currently being kicked off or currently being played on ESPN. So Memphis got to contain Mekhi Hughes, run Mario Anderson, get off the field on third downs because their defense has not been great. Get the ball to Rock Taylor and Demir Blankenship and keep pace with Tulane offense. While Tulane has to run Mekhi Hughes, get the ball to Mario Williams and Euclid Brown, pressure Steph Hannigan, force turnovers, and contain Mario Anderson, the running back. And my winner, obviously, like I said, is Tulane. Tulane has been playing really great football of late, undefeated in conference play. Memphis defense has been bad. Tulane has shown the ability to put up points. They have a really good offense. They have a really good running back. And Darian Mensah has had a really great freshman year for the Tulane Green Wave. I trust John Summerall to get it done on the way to to American Athletic Conference Championship game. So give me the Tulane Green Wave to win at home, to become 8-0 in conference play and beating the Memphis Tigers. And that's all I have for y'all today, man. I will be back tomorrow because I got to preview Friday and Saturday. I will preview Friday and Saturday. I will have Bowl Watch, so look out for that. It obviously will be around like 9:30, 10 o'clock because the first kickoff is 12 o'clock. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.